Today's video takes us into an important discussion about the real estate market, home prices, and the challenges of homeownership for the next generation. The conversation begins with the show host introducing the topic. She highlights that we're reaching the end of the traditional home buying season and wants to take a closer look at what's really happening with real estate. To guide us through this complex subject, she invites Mich Rochelle, a well-known real estate expert, onto the show. The host asks Mich a critical question: how can we make homeownership possible for the next generation? Because right now, it doesn't seem affordable. Mich responds with a reality check. He explains that this affordability problem isn't new. In fact, he points out that home prices have been rising for decades, while wages and salaries haven't kept pace. About 15 years ago, he was making the same warnings. The issue has only worsened because of historically low interest rates in the past, which fueled a housing bubble. Mich emphasizes, for realtors, this market isn't bad because they can still make a living. For home builders, it's tougher because fewer homes are being sold. But the biggest challenge is matching home prices with people's incomes. The host then shifts the focus. What about first-time home buyers who are being priced out? What can be done for them? Mich says the answer is clear. We need more supply. That means fiscal policies that encourage builders to take risks, buy land, and construct more homes. More supply naturally drives prices down, making homes more affordable. Next, the host brings up a recent report. According to it, over 50% of homes sold in May went for less than the asking price, averaging about $5,000 below listing. She asks Mich if this trend suggests that home prices are finally coming down. Mich explains, while asking prices and closing prices are showing some gaps, the reality is that final sale prices are still ticking upward overall. Many sellers are listing homes at high prices to attract clients, but when those homes don't sell quickly, the prices get reduced. That's why buyers see price drops, but it doesn't mean the overall housing market is collapsing. The host then poses a big question. So, is this a buyer's market or a seller's market? Mich replies confidently, it's absolutely a buyer's market. He explains that the power has shifted to buyers because sellers are being forced to lower their expectations. However, despite this shift, average home prices are still hitting new all-time highs, making things complicated. The discussion then moves to mortgage rates. The host points out that rates have recently fallen to their lowest level since October, which could encourage refinancing or make homes slightly more affordable. Mich agrees but adds a warning. Many potential buyers are still waiting on the sidelines, hoping for even lower rates. He advises that if you really need a home, for example, to get your kids into school, it's better to buy now and refinance later. But he also notes that refinancing isn't as easy or cost-effective as it used to be because of fees and lender requirements. The host acknowledges this reality, adding that refinancing comes with extra costs and a lot of paperwork. Mich even jokes about how painful the process feels, calling it a full-body cavity search by lenders, which adds a light moment before the segment ends. Key takeaways for viewers and listeners. Homeownership is tough for the next generation because wages haven't kept up with housing prices. More housing supply is the key to bringing down prices. Policies must support builders. Buyers now have more negotiating power, but overall home prices remain high. Mortgage rates have fallen, which might create opportunities. But waiting forever for the perfect rate could mean missing out. If you really need a house, it's often smarter to buy now and refinance later when rates improve. This video is extremely beneficial because it explains the real reasons behind rising housing costs and offers insights on how buyers can take advantage of the current market shift. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer, a homeowner thinking of selling, or just curious about the housing market, this discussion gives you practical knowledge to make smarter financial decisions. So, is now the right time to buy a house? Or should you wait for prices and rates to fall even further? As Mich explained, the choice depends on your situation, but one thing is clear: the housing market is changing, and those who understand these trends will be ahead of the game. Stay tuned for more insights, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for updates on real estate and financial trends that affect your future.